Hi, my name is Cheryl Stega. Welcome to Policy Debate. At this point, your coach should have covered already the basic roles of affirmative and negative, as well as the basic speech order. This video is intended to better help you understand the flow of speakers and speeches in a policy debate. You may be wondering why you should listen to me. It's pretty simple. I debated for Emory's Barkley Forum in college. I've coached or taught debate since 2004, and I've been a curriculum consultant for the National Debate Project. At my age, I've debated for over half my life. I love debate. Okay, down to business. In policy debate, there are two debaters on each team.
On the affirmative team, representing the first speaker, the 1A, is Bill the Buffalo, and the second speaker, the 2A, is Fleece the Lamb. On the negative team, representing the first speaker, the 1N, is Daisy the Black and White Cow, and the second speaker, the 2N, is Bessie the Brown Cow. Before we begin, let's review the three types of speeches. In a constructive speech, the root is construct, where the building blocks of arguments are set forth. In cross-examination, the point is to examine through questions. Rebuttals close the debate. They're the final 5 minutes trying to convince the judge. For the purposes of this debate, we will pretend that the resolution is as follows. Resolved. The United States federal government should substantially limit its use of weapons of mass destruction.
All debates begin with a pre-written speech known as the first affirmative constructive. Bill, it's time for the first affirmative constructive. You're up.
Fleece and I present the following plan. The United States federal government will adopt a no first use policy for nuclear weapons. Our advantages are hegemony and apology politics. Next, the second speaker from the negative, Bessie Brown Cow, will ask questions in cross-examination, clarifying. This is so that the 1N, Daisy, who is speaking next, can prepare for her speech in the debate. Why the negative present the readiness disadvantage to the plan? Let's review. We have the first affirmative constructive, cross-examined by the 2N. Then we saw this first negative constructive, cross-examined by the 1A. Coming up next, we're going to have the second affirmative constructive. Can you guess who's going to cross-examine? That's right, the 1N. The second affirmative constructive actually constructs the response to the negative arguments. Thus, it's still a constructive and not a rebuttal. The next speech is the second negative constructive, with cross-examination by the 2A, followed by the first negative rebuttal. This is known as the negative block. That's because the negative speaks twice in a row before the affirmative gets to respond. It's tricky to figure out how to not repeat yourself and still expand the debate. The second negative usually takes off case arguments. The first negative often takes case arguments. After the neg block will be the first affirmative rebuttal.
Hey there, neg team. The best way to divide up the block is for the 2N to take all of the off case or disadvantages, and for the 1N to take all of the on case arguments like the advantage and solvency.
The 2NC supports the arguments and the disadvantage. Then comes the last cross-examination speech. It's between both of the second speakers from each team. Don't forget the negative speaks twice in a row. This speech is the first negative rebuttal. Now we are at the crux of the debate, known as the 1AR, or first affirmative rebuttal. After this, only the final speeches from each team remain.
I was a 1A, 2N when I debated, and the 1AR is often lamented as the hardest speech in a debate. Advanced debaters and judges can often spot the winner of the debate right after the 1AR speech, because it's really make it or break it for the affirmative team, or for the negative team to know if they have any options in being able to negate the resolution. But no pressure. Bill, you're going to do great.
The 2NR is the very last speech for the negative. And likewise, the 2AR is the very last speech for the affirmative. Then we're done.
Let's review everything one more time.
Okay, you start the debate with the constructives. The 1AC cross-X by the 2N, 1NC cross-X by the 1A, 2AC cross-X by the 1N, 2NC cross-X by the 2A, and the neg block continues with the 1NR, then the rebuttals in order 1AR, 2NR, 2AR. Don't forget that it's always easy to remember who's supposed to cross-examine in the constructives because it's the person who spoke last or who isn't speaking next on that team.
As I say to my own debaters, I can tell and show you until I'm blue in the face, but it's better when you do it. Even if the speeches aren't ready, it's always good to practice standing up in the correct order and time. Good luck!
As always, go fight, win, debate!